This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Pendleton Whiskey, Bill Fick Ford, the WCRA, and Resistol. At this point, everybody knows Pendleton Whiskey is synonymous with the sport of rodeo. Pendleton is the official whiskey of Pro Rodeo and the PBR. Pendleton Whiskey was made for rodeo using time-honored methods of oak barrel aging for rich, complex flavors and an uncommonly smooth finish. Pendleton Whiskey is best enjoyed on the rocks, that's how I like it, or straight up. Make a cocktail out of it, doesn't matter, guys. Pendleton Whiskey was specifically created to celebrate the bold spirit of independence, hardworking ethics of the American cowboy and cowgirl. There's a reason Pendleton is my favorite whiskey. Born in the iconic American West town of Pendleton, Oregon, and taking the name from one of the most revered rodeos in the world. My favorite rodeo, the Pendleton Roundup. Pendleton whiskey is a modern celebration of a century-old tradition. Pendleton is a taste of true Western tradition, always worth raising a glass to. Discover more at pendletonwhiskey.com, and please drink responsibly. Bill Fick Ford, the #1 Super Duty dealer in the entire country, is still taking care of their customers. It's hard to get trucks right now, but there's some perks when you're the #1 Super Duty dealer in the country. You still got trucks. Go to BillFickFordHuntsville.com to get the no bull discounts that no one else is giving during this crazy time that we're living in. Bill Fick Ford is still the place to go. In fact, if you ask me, it's the only place to get a new Super Duty dealer today. Bill Fick Ford. Who wants to be rodeo's next millionaire? It's time. That time again through the WCRA. You can win $1 million by nominating your rides or runs and earning points through the WCRA. Through the Triple Crown of Rodeo, the WCRA will award $1 million in cash prizes to any one athlete or collection of athletes who wins first place in any 3 consecutive WCRA major rodeos. $1 million is completely up for grabs. The Days of 47 Cowboy Games and Rodeo will be the second stop of the 2021 Triple Crown of Rodeo Series. The event will pay out over $560,000 and will be held July 20th through the 24th in Salt Lake City. Get this, there will be 0 entry fees, people. You heard me correctly. No entry fees. The only way to qualify for the Triple Crown of Rodeo event is by nominating your rides and runs with the WCRA. Use promo code GAUGE10 for 10% off your next nomination. Again, that promo code is GAUGE10 for 10% off your next nomination. To learn more, just visit WCRArodeo.com and learn how you can earn a spot at the Days of 47 Rodeo and possibly be rodeo's next millionaire. What?
It doesn't matter if it's your cowboy hat or your equipment. Your cowboy hat is part of your equipment. So when you show up feeling good, looking good, you're going to perform well.
I never see us letting our foot off the gas because we're all gas, no brakes, and we work hard and we play even harder, and we want as many gold buckles as we can possibly get.
We really live it and put everything we have into everything that we do here, whether it's working hard, riding bareback horses, playing on the boat. It's full send.
What's underneath that hat and what's in your heart as a cowboy is what really matters.
This is The Gauge with host Chance Conradu.
Are you freaking serious? It's Conrado. This is The Gauge, and I am Chance Conrado. On this episode of the podcast, we have got the Compton Cowboys. Randy Savvy speaking on their behalf. He's the founder. He is a Dr.Dre produced recording artist. He is a cool dude. I've been following the Compton Cowboys for a while. I'm so interested in what they've been doing. I think it's amazing how our way of life can transcend cultures, and feel really blessed to get to talk to him early in his journey. Oh, and guess what? This one's 2 parts. Check it out. We had to bring someone all the way from Compton to hold on to the cowboy hat. Everybody gives it up so easily.
Yeah. Oh, got to figure it out, man. You got to cowboy it.
I'm telling you. We've had lifelong cowboys just be like, all right, bald head it is.
Got to cowboy it, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, grew up on these. My daddy had one, and then he gave me his, and then I was doing some shit, lost it on the road. I'm going to make a song about it one day.
Really? About losing the hat?
Yeah. It was a special moment. Like, I definitely touched me.
Yeah.
You know how country songs be? It be about shit like that. Like
that, trailer houses.
I lost my daddy's hat. You know what I'm saying?
And your dog, and your trailer, and then your truck fell in the river.
Truck, you know what I'm saying?
That's a whole song, dude.
But you know, I love that shit though. You feel me? Like I love how that's why I really take away from the country music mostly is like the simplest of experiences turn into a song. You know what I'm saying? And then people relate to those things.
Yeah, because it's a story.
Yeah, it's a story, and it's basic shit that we all go through. Like we all go through the experience of losing somebody, or you know, wanting to hang out, drink a beer, party. Like all that shit is so basic, like, and it's so relatable. That's why I be tripping off hip hop, because a lot of hip hop ain't really relatable, but people like it just because of the energy of it. But like a lot of the mainstream shit, like the real shit that you grow up on, the traditional shit, it's relatable because it came from, so hip hop was storytelling at first, but then when it went mainstream, it got all the flashy and shit. So now if you listen to all the main shit that's out, it's all about being rich and famous, and like nobody can't really relate to that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's except rich and famous people.
No, and you can't even, like, you listen to Tupac or something, there's a sound, like you can hear every word Tupac says. Yep. But all this stuff now, it sounds good. Like you want to work out to that. You want to jam to that
party
stuff.
to it. You'll turn up to it, but it ain't gonna rock. It ain't gonna move you like that. You feel me?
Yeah, but when you walk out to your F-350, you're like, that's not a Ferrari.
Right, exactly. You feel me?
Yeah, so it is what it is. But all right, so
this ain't my first rodeo.
Yeah, I got 1,000 questions before we get to that. But I mean, first and foremost, if you're not somebody from Compton, if you're somebody from where I'm from, right, you associate things.
Which is where?
Well, I'm from Colorado. I grew up on a ranch.
Colorado.
Yeah, you know, Colorado. But if you're from that, right, you associate Compton with Tupac Shakur, the culture of rap, all those things that, frankly, very few people don't love it, right? Everybody does. Right. Everybody's engrossed in that and have been for decades. But we have no understanding of where you came from, right? And so you see someone who comes from that background, right? A place that's totally different than what we're used to. And then you go from that, and then this cowboy thing comes together, and this whole culture goes together. So I got to know, I mean, where you started right from the beginning.
Bro, my childhood is crazy. My life is crazy, actually. Man, I was born and raised in Compton. By the time I was born, my aunt already had like 2 horses. So let me just start from her story and then how we kind of got here. So my auntie grew up in her, my grandmother and all them from the South. So my grandma from Louisiana, you feel me? Grandpa from Kentucky. And or maybe Oklahoma. I don't know. We didn't know him. He was a war vet and he was gone. So, you know, I'm still like getting hip on it. Like, it's a lot of clouds around his story.
Really?
You feel me? Yeah. He was like a Rolling Stone, like wherever. And all that kind of thing. But anyway, so my auntie grew up in the neighborhood near Compton called Harbor City, where somebody around her neighborhood had a horse, and she just loved animals, and she used to just always be all out in the streets, like bringing animals home, and she used to go pester the people that had the horse, like, can I ride it, can I touch it, whatever. And then on top of that, my grandfather, as a war veteran, when he would what he would do when he would come home, as part of his own like self therapy, is like he would sit around, like, drink whiskey and watch westerns. Mm-hmm. And so my aunt would that was like something that they would do as a part of their tradition. Like, and my dad says my grandfather never really said much or did much, other than the only time they really saw him or dealt with him at all was when he was sitting in front of the TV screaming at the Western movie, drinking whiskey, as you know, he was an alcoholic, you feel me? And so, but that was just something that was going on in the house. So, you know, he's seeing horses on TV, cowboys and stuff and all that. And then my auntie was already loving animals, so she used to go out there and try to find people that had horses and be around them and all that. So she just grew up very fond of horses. Shit, like, she had these like dream of wanting to be like a cowgirl or whatever. So fast forward to when she starts like getting out of school and she's like finding her career, she landed in real estate. And so as she's doing her work in real estate, she just stumbles across this neighborhood in Compton called Richland Farms. And it's like blows her mind. She's like, wait a minute. This is a farm town. People have horses and stuff in the city. And like my people, like black and brown people, live here and all this. So she's like, oh, I'm definitely moving here. Like, so she hopped in the fast lane, you feel me? Got her own crib over there. Got a couple horses. And that was that. That's like the 80s, like mid-80s. So then she realizes, after she's in the house with a couple horses and her kids are growing up, me and my brother are also growing up, as her nephews and stuff, we all around there. She's like, wait a minute, bro. I just moved to Compton in like 1985, 86, where it's like the craziest. It's like anything wrong with the community
was at its worst, right?
At its worst. Like all the different things that could be wrong. You're talking about government, political, corrupted politics, gang violence, drugs, crime, anything, police brutality. Like all that was like just a storm, a shit show of like negativity. You feel me? So the whole community was bad. It's like the crack epidemic coming off of that too. You feel me? So she like, man, there's a lot going on. And then fast forward, her son got shot on some gang violence bullshit type. So she like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, she like, I could stay here and try to make a difference, but I really want to leave and just take my family to, to greener pastures, if you will, and not have to deal with this at all. So she wrestled with that. And then it hit her like, you can't go out like that. Like, you got to do something. Because that's what happens a lot in the hood is like the people that make it, they leave. And then the only people that's left behind is the people that's still struggling, fighting, dealing with bullshit, you feel me? And it just becomes a perpetual cycle of negativity. And that's how the hood becomes and stays the hood. Because all the people of affluence are gone. And you can't really blame them because they want to, if you have means and you have a family, you want to raise your kids up and send them to nice schools, and you don't want to have to worry about getting shot, stabbed, robbed, or something happening to your kids. You feel me? So you can't really blame those people. So that was a decision that she could have made. But my family, like my grandma, like we never was cut like that. Like we always was community people. My grandma was a cook. She should just feed everybody, like keep her doors open. Kids be hungry, neighbors, whatever. She just loved to cook for people, and that was her way of being in the community, being a lady that will feed everybody. And so we all kind of grew up like that, being all about the people in the community. So my auntie was like, I ain't going out like that. I'm not finna leave. And like, mind you, her neighbors and friends is all black parents as well, and they kids dealing with this same type of trauma, you feel me? So she like, if I leave, I'm leaving them behind and then leaving their kids to deal with this. It's like, nah, I can't go out like that. She's like, I'm going to stay here. So she's like, okay, I'm going to stay. Then she had to figure out, okay, if I'm going to stay here and fight and like try to make a difference, how am I going to, what is going to be my tool? You know what I'm saying? What is going to be my weapon of choice to fight this war against negativity? You feel me? And it dawned on her like, dang, I know all these kids love my horses. They always want to come ride. They begging me to come in my backyard. They always follow me home when I'm riding the horse, and they be begging me to, like how she was when she was little. Same thing.
So she could immediately relate with those kids.
Immediately relate. It's just totally relatable. So it was like a light bulb moment, like, if I could use these horses to attract the kids in the community, then if they want to ride and they want to be around the horse, I'm gonna tell them they got to be on the right track. So they got to go, they got to show me their report card. They got to be going to school. They parent or guardian got to show that they've been behaving in the home and all that. So she was like, that's the formula. Use these horses to attract these kids, and when they come, spin them into the the right path. So now, I'm growing up. So now she started that. And first it was her kids, then they friends, then me and my brother, and then our friends. And so slowly but surely, we became the Compton Junior Posse. Whole bunch of kids from the hood riding these horses for real. And it was the real deal. We had uniforms. We used to go to all the events, clean up. We had some little rodeo, some little auction horses that we got for a little bit of nothing, some Arabians. God bless them. Those horses, made me. I'm sitting here today because of them horses, you feel me? Because those horses gave me confidence, and they showed us that we could do something. Look at Time was the Arab I rode, and we had another one named Misty, and they was some real athletes, like competitive beasts, you feel me? And they had a chip on their shoulder, and we did too. So we kind of related in that way. We was underdogs, all of us. So we would go to all these rodeos and amateur, play days and all this stuff. We would clean up, bro. I'm talking cloverleaf barrel. We call it triple barrel, single barrel, rescue relay, pole bending, 4-man relay. All the little events and the Western stuff, we used to win everything. I'm talking about first, second, and third place in every event, to the point where it got to a point where they would get mad and they started changing the rules. Like, how much winnings you could take, or like, you know what I'm saying? So, because they used to get mad at us. I remember one time we was at a place, we was at like a play day like in Malibu or somewhere. And, you know, so everybody got they, you know, $20,000 quarter horses, you feel me, and all that, and trainers and everything, nice rigs, everything. We showing up with our raggedy ass truck that's barely running, rusty ass trailer, you feel me? We back in them, but we had them Arabians though, you feel me? We got them out, saddled them up with what little rigs we had, whooped everybody ass, right? Just some little ghetto black kids, you feel me? From the hood though, you feel me? We the only ones here that's black, everybody else white. And I remember one time we won everything, and I just remember hearing this lady screaming at her whole team. Like, I guess she had just bought this quarter horse, expensive quarter horse that was trained and well bred, you feel me, for her daughter to compete on. And when she lost, because we won, and she was screaming at everybody like, I just paid all this motherfucking money for this quarter horse, and y'all motherfuckers let these woo, you know, come up here and whoop y'all ass. And matter of fact, like, she just going off on her whole team, and it was borderline, like, it had, you know, racist tone to it, you feel me? And all this, but we never let that phase us, because we was just our little clique, our little gang. Like, we just wanted to come win and go home and go back to the hood. You feel me?
How could it bother you if you're high on winning and you're like, look at what we just did?
And we got all the homies with us. You feel me? We all there. We got all the homies. We just won everything. We got all the trophies and prize money and everything. We hopping, throwing everything in our rig. We just having a blast. It was like we was in our own world, and that really, that energy
intimidated people.
It did intimidate people, but it excited us so much to the point where that's all we really wanted to do as kids. We would get excited about that. We didn't want to go hang on the block and be gang members and all this. And we wanted to be cowboys.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this. How did the rest of the community, the non-horse community, the little subculture you guys were in, how did they react to you guys when you were kids? Were you guys kind of outcast compared to everybody else, or did you get embraced? I mean, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I get what you guys are doing. Dude, that's what we did. Same thing. You know, that's how we grew up. But in a place like that, you guys had to be so polarizing to the rest of the town.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, like, all of our own, because we still in the hood and from the hood, and like, these are all our homies. A lot of these people in the hood is like our friends and family and everything. So when they see us doing well and we having a great time, staying out of trouble, that's one thing about the hood. Like, when you're doing something and you staying out of trouble and you doing something better for yourself, the hood they're gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh, I see you young, and you know what I'm saying, stay out of trouble, stay on your shit, you know what I'm saying? And then the thing about the horses, that's the magic in the horses. Like, the horses, nobody could be mad around horses. So like, even the toughest people in the street, they see the horses and they like, oh dang, like, they light up like little kids, you feel me? So they always showed us love. Like, always showed us love. We always got, you know, embraced, and they was happy to see that we was, you know, doing something better with our life and having fun and staying out of trouble and all that. So they showed us love, and it was a good time. So fast forward, basically that's who the Compton Cowboys are today. We are the kids that grew up in the junior posse, riding these horses. These horses saved us. Our motto is streets raised us, horses saved us. We born and raised, and we come up in the streets, Compton, bro, like, or in the surrounding areas. Like, we could have easily been gang members, dead or in jail on drugs or any of that. But we had the horses, and them horses made all the difference, because they kept us in the backyard and not on the street, in the front yard. And that's the life or death difference right there. Like, the homies that hung out in the front on the street side, a lot of them ain't here today. They gone, they dead, they in jail, they on drugs or something. You feel me? But the homies that grew up hanging in the backyard, we didn't have to deal with the street side bullshit. But don't get it twisted. We still done been shot at. You feel me? I done been in a situation we was hanging out in the front. Motherfuckers come through shooting. We running back hiding in horse stalls. You feel me? That whole ranch and the horse environment saved our life many times over, and it still does so today, because that's my therapy. I live on my ranch. You feel me? We come there. Our ranch is like a community center, therapy center. Like, we come there all day, every day, just to be around each other and the horses, and it's like therapeutic, and we around each other, and we keep each other motivated, and we giving back to the kids, paying it forward to the next generation. So we owe it all to the horses, man. That's why I'm sitting there. That's how I'm able to sit in front of you today, is as a Compton Cowboy, and that's the Compton Cowboy story. You know what I'm saying? My aunt, God bless her, she's still alive. She retired now. I'm running the ranch now. And we still doing stuff with the kids. The Compton Junior Equestrians got them popping, paying it forward to the next generation. And then Compton Cowboys, we just doing our shit. We just out here in the culture trying to change the game.
Yeah. I mean, you guys definitely are. You guys have got a lot of attention, mainstream attention, because like in a time where there's all this difference, right? Most of it not real, right? It's all kind of constructed by the powers that be to try to divide people.
Right.
But you guys are doing something that can't be divided because we're all doing it. We can all relate to it. And you guys are doing it in a way that nobody else really does it, in a place that, frankly, none of us really understand, which is what I think is so amazing about it.
Bro, it's the horses. We owe it all to the horses. The horses they bridge the gap. They the icebreaker, they the bridge, they the thread that brings us all together, because humans and horses go back way before any of this bullshit, before any of racism or anything. You know what I'm saying? We just own the land with the animals, and the horses helped us pioneer and civilize. The modern civilization is what it is because of horses. Horses and horsepower. They was the first engines, the first form of transportation, the first companions, the first everything. You know what I'm saying? So they helped. That's how people hunted. You know what I'm saying? They'll go, you know, so that horse part, the human and horse element, is what we really base our whole movement on. And it's like, it ain't got nothing to do with all these barriers that us humans have set up and try to cult each other off from each other. You feel me? From all these different reasons, skin tone and the music you listen to or where you grow up. Oh, that's bullshit. The love for the horse and the love for outside. You feel me? That's universal.
Absolutely.
That's universal. So that's what we doing.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are killing it. And so when was it that you guys decided you were going to try to be like a mainstream thing? Like, it did just happen on its own? Or, I mean, or were there decisive actions that you and some of the key people in your organization had to take to make it happen?
Oh, no, it was definitely a turning point, because my auntie was starting to slow down. And then she ended up having like a mild stroke. And so she had to slow down. And doctor's orders was like, you know, you can't be doing all this. Because it's a hustle. You feel me? Running a nonprofit, taking care of all these horses. Everybody know that. Everybody that got horses know how much work it is to take care of horses.
Work and money. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's a hustle for real. It ain't no part-time. No, this is like, this is your life. Not to mention you dealing with young knuckleheads. You dealing with all the bullshit that come with being in the streets. You feel me? So my auntie was working hard for all these years, so she needed to slow down, and she had to slow down. At the same time, it's like divine intervention, because we ended up getting a call in 2017, right when she was almost at her 30-year mark. She established 1988, so coming up 2018 would have been her 30-year mark. So that's when she started slowing down and was like planning like retiring 2018. So in 2017, we get called from Guinness Beer. They looking for black cowboys to do a commercial. They had an idea for a commercial they wanted to do with black cowboys. They didn't know what it would look like or who would be the key figures in this commercial, but they wanted it to be real. That was the main thing. They didn't want to hire no actors. Yeah. They wanted to do some real tasteful stuff. Like, so they was just searching and Googling and, let's looking for, they wanted to shoot it in LA. They were just searching like black cowboys, like whatever. So they found some people in New York and some other stuff, but they ended up finding our organization, the Compton Junior Posse, and they just started reaching out to the different people that had some type of connection to the Junior Posse. Like, hey, I'm trying to do this. So they ended up finding one of our former members or whatever, alumni, finding him, and then he connected them to me. And so they came down to the ranch. It was like, man, we trying to do this black cowboy commercial, but we don't have the parts. Like, we don't have the real cowboys, and we don't know the textures and the taste of it all, but we know we have a vision. So I was like, whoa, bam, like, this is perfect timing, because one, I am a black cowboy myself. Me and all the homies is cowboys as well. And we grew up together, and we know this. And also, I am actually a producer. I do entertainment. You know what I'm saying? This is what I was studying at the time. This is my passion. Music, film, TV, media, commercials. Like, this is like what I do. So it was like a perfect opportunity. It was like, yo, just bring me into the project, and then I'll execute. It was like, yo, can you execute this project? Like, can you help us execute this project? I'm like, absolutely. Called all the homies. Hey, man, we're about to do this commercial for Guinness. Woo, woo. This is going to be the job. It's going to be 3 days in LA. We need to get these horses together. Woo, woo. So we started putting it together. We did it, bro. Filmed it. It was a blast. So now I'm like, okay, boom. I came out it was a random day. I worked out at the gym, and I came and I went across the street to the bar, and I'm sitting in the bar thinking like, man, bro, like, we just shot that commercial. And dang, like, when that commercial come out, people are going to be looking for, like, who is these who is these guys in this commercial? Like, I knew it was gonna be dope, and I knew it would create interest because I know people have never seen them like that. Mind you, the homies in the commercial with no shirt, tattoos, but riding horses and doing all this. You feel me? So I'm like, I know they're gonna be looking like for who we are because I know how Hollywood is. This is my industry. I'm in it, so I know how it is. When people see original, fresh shit, they just jump on it. Like,
Right.
So I'm like, man, if this commercial comes out, people gonna be looking. So I was like, boom, I was like, and it just all hit me at once. I don't know if you ever seen That's So Raven, like when she had a little moments and she'd be like, and then like all this shit happened in her head and then she zoomed back to reality. That literally happened to me, bro. No lie to you. I was sitting there and I just looked up and it just, my mouth dropped and I'm just seeing the whole thing. Everything we doing now, I seen it vividly, bro. I seen it. I'm like, oh my God. Black Cowboys, we're gonna take over Hollywood. We could be the Compton Cowboys, bro. It's gonna be crazy. I'm getting goosebumps saying it right now because I remember the feeling vividly like it was yesterday.
Right.
And since then, that was 2017. Since then, I dedicated my entire life every day to this Compton Cowboy shit, and it's working. So the commercial did come out, and like I said, so since I knew the commercial was coming out, I had the website set up, the social media handles reserved, the logos, everything. Like we about to do this, and when it came out, boom, clockwork. Everybody start calling. Hey man, TV networks start offering us reality show deals. All these companies start reaching out, and ever since then we just been running it up, bro. Yep. You feel me? At one deal after another, one opportunity after another, and just taking advantage of it. And then it was even better because I'm like, dang, if I'm gonna be running the ranch, I ain't gotta go beg for money no more. I ain't gotta be filling out grants and doing all. I could just use this private sector. Around this Compton Cowboys brand to bring in the resources we need, and we could take care of our own ranch and our horses on our own.
And don't have to do the nonprofit thing anymore.
We don't even have to do that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That would be great if I had a great grant writer. I would love, shout out, if there's any great grant writers out there that know what they're doing and they want to rock with it, holla at your boy. But we didn't depend on that. Because I watched my aunt for 30 years bust her butt. It got to a point where she was toward the end of her career, her time in, running the ranch, she wasn't even out there with the horses and the kids no more. She was stuck in the office, bro. Trying to get every coin to take care of this whole thing that she done built up. What she did. She did a great job. Most nonprofits, most businesses can't go 30 years. No. Let alone a nonprofit. So she did it. And kudos to her. I tip my hat to her, like, God bless her. You feel me?
I mean, it's her life's work, right?
Her life's work. So, but I told myself I wasn't finna do that. Not only I didn't want to, I didn't have no experience in that. I didn't know nothing about that nonprofit stuff. I didn't have no experience. I didn't want to put that kind of work in because I know that was full-time stuff, and I'm like trying to do my music and entertainment stuff. Like, so I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna run the ranch and do all this with the kids, and I'm gonna do it my own way. So I was like, I'm gonna build a brand that brings in resources, and then the brand and all that is gonna allow us to, one, take care of everything we need to take care of our ranch and our horses. Boom. Then the brand and the movement is going to create so much excitement to where the kids going to look at it and be like, yo, that's dope. And that's how you win with the kids in the community, because you could drag them to after school, to the art class or do some boy. Yeah. That shit be boring, bro. That shit whack. And the kids they don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If you have to make the kids go, you losing the battle already because they're not going to be engaged.
Yep.
But if you do something cool and make the kids go, yo, can you take me there, please? That's what we did with our shit. So now the kids looking at us like, yo, Compton Cowboys, that shit dope. I want to be like that. So now we have the interest from the kids on their own. So now you win it because they want to come and they want to change. So now when they come, we on autopilot. The kids want to be better because they reach out to us. Be there. They want to be there. They literally don't want to go home.
Yep.
That was us. We didn't ever want to leave the ranch. We was mad when the sun went down and we had to go home. We wanted to be out there with the horses hanging out, running around, having a good ass time. So I knew that I could relate to that. We was those kids.
Yep.
So I'm like, man, let's just do it like this, bro. Create the brand, build the business. That'll bring in the money. We could take care of our own ranch. Boom. And then we start our own, do our nonprofit shit where we can now use that to serve the kids, and we could do our own operations, fully self-sustainable, no problem. And that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's just been. So we've been in it a little over 3 years now, man. We in our 4th year, man, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. The industry wide, people know who we are. They respect what we do. We got great sponsors and partners and donors and everything at the highest level, and it's just so rewarding to be able to walk out on a Saturday morning and see my students back there learn. These young kids from around the neighborhood just own horses. One of my guys sent me a picture today. Just The kids riding around, leading each other around back there in the yard, and that warms my heart. That's my life's work. If I could do that for my life, say I put ranches all over the world where kids needed horses, and then change the community and change the hood, I won, bro. All the other shit is fun. The music, the culture, the other shit, that's life. You know, I'm a LA, California boy, so we got to live it up. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it ain't about that. It's about these kids in the community and what effect we having on the world, on the world stage, changing the narrative about black people, about cowboys, about all this shit. You feel me?
Yeah, and how it could all be the same thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Guys, here's the deal. We've all been caught in this situation. You're in a small town. You're in a state maybe that doesn't have Pendleton. For whatever reason, these little liquor stores, they don't have it. You don't want to get caught having to drink something like Yak Annuals. Satisfy your inner cowboy by purchasing a bottle of Pendleton online before you go at drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com. Or discover more at pendletonwhiskey.com. Guys, I'm giving you the little online purchase tip, but you got to drink responsibly. Pendleton Whiskey. I find it pretty inspiring and cool, like just the fact that you want that. It's kind of all about kids, right? Like at the end of the day, it's all about the effect that horses can have on kids.
Absolutely.
Which we all know. But again, like you've been to rodeos, like real rodeos, and you've seen what it's like, right? It's a totally different thing. Right, it's a fast-paced, different environment, different crowd. You've got people like Corey Solomon, Shad Mayfield, but I mean,
Big Shad, the big dog.
It's a different game, right?
Yeah.
And so when somebody comes in, take Derek Begay, for instance. You know who that is? Derek Begay?
I'm not familiar.
Yeah. You should look him up. Yeah. Look up YouTube Navajo Sun.
Okay.
It's gonna really resonate with you because it's cool.
Word.
But people are hungry for that. Like, actually, rodeo is super inclusive. It wants diversity.
Yeah.
Right? It's welcome with open arms. And so getting to see what you guys do for your own community, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just slower pace, and you guys are farther back because it's smaller.
Yeah.
But do you guys, have you ever had parents opposed to like their kids coming out with you guys?
Absolutely not.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Not one time?
Nope. They want to send them kids with us. And the kids want to come so bad. It's like, as a parent, you like, please let my kid come with y'all. Like,
really?
Please. Man, that's the best part about it, is that the kids want to come, and the parent, and the fact that we on positivity always. That's the core of our ethos, is all positive. No bullshit. No negativity. Everything we doing is about motivation, encouragement, trying to find your career, trying to find yourself, trying to live a good, productive life, get back to your community, be an upstanding member of society. Like we just did a whole voter initiative for this last presidential race. You feel me? Mm-hmm. We wasn't telling people who to vote for. We were just saying vote.
Yeah.
You feel me? Be involved, be engaged, be civically engaged in in the process. You feel me? And now, it brought tears to my eyes watching gang members vote.
Yeah,
because we out there telling them, like, we Compton, we out there, yo, man, whatever y'all got going on in these streets, man, if y'all want to make a difference, we need to vote, bro. And watching gang members and dudes in the street, cats and whoever that never ever would have get involved, that'd be the main problem, is people just don't. It's just a disconnect. It's a total disengagement with the whole democratic process.
Why do you think that is?
Disenfranchisement, bro. It's like that shit don't serve us. It's like, no matter what, the same situations is going. No matter who in the office, whatever, the homies still dying every day. Niggas getting hooked on drugs. Women ended up prostitutes. Like, no matter who the president. So really, we just become, like, it's like we live in a whole different universe.
Yeah.
In the hood, you feel me? Like, that shit don't even think, like, you can't even ask nobody who the president is sometimes, or who's your council member, who's your district member, who's your mayor. A lot of times, some people don't even know and give a fuck. Yeah. Because the circumstances don't never change. But the irony is, the only way you gonna change it is by changing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be hands-on with it. You know what I'm saying? If you apathetic to the situation, ain't nothing gonna change. And so, but people say that, and then it's like, people say and then nothing gonna change unless you try to change it, and then people try to change it, and then nothing don't change, so then they be messed up. But it takes the collective of us all, the energy, the big swarm of energy. That's why the Compton Cowboys movement is the move, because we the gang. It ain't just one cowboy out here trying to make a difference. There's a lot of those in the world. But we coming in, when we walk in the building, it's 10 of us, head to toe, all black. You feel me? that presence is like the mob, like the energy in that presence
mob
is
with cowboy
real,
hats.
bro. And even what we was at a horse show recently, it was
It's
only,
like Tombstone. You seen the
bro.
movie
It's real
Tombstone?
life. Tombstone, like our life is like Tombstone meets Straight Outta Compton, bro. So we was at a horse show the other day, and we was walking through there, and somebody just yelled out like, "Oh my God, it's the posse, it's the posse!" Like, because we was all black, you feel me? Looking like Tombstone, like, and we laughed about that, but that's it. That's the vibe, you know what I'm saying? And that presence, that energy, it gets felt, and it moves people, and so we using that to do positive.
You always felt like this? Like you always felt, because you're ridiculously well-spoken, you're grounded, you got, I mean, dude, you got shit together, especially the way you communicate, right? It's not what everybody would expect, right?
No doubt.
And because like you watch a movie Straight Outta Compton, great fucking movie, but you watch that and you're not going to expect somebody to come in here and articulate the way that you're articulating. And I mean, it's kind of not for me, because I've watched enough of your stuff, I knew.
No doubt.
But like if you're listening to this for the first time, for sure, there's going to be thousands of people who don't even know what Compton Cowboy are who are going to listen to this.
Right.
And they're going to listen to like, what? That guy can't be from Compton.
Right.
That dude's got to have a college degree.
Yeah.
That dude, there's no way.
And I do.
Yeah.
I got a master's degree.
Yeah.
You feel me? My dad was a Harvard, and my dad is a Harvard MBA.
Really?
You feel me? And my dad moved to Compton on purpose so he could be make a difference, be a difference maker.
What was your dad all about?
My pops he all about black people in the community, like hands down.
He's still here?
He's still here.
Yeah.
And then he tears in his eyes when he see what we doing. This what we doing is living his mission out. And he feels like, he tells me, son, if I died today, man, I lived it and I did it. And so my dad is probably the happiest person ever on earth right now, because he grew up in the projects, not much of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like how my grandma was just a cook and, working. Our granddad was a war vet who didn't have shit, who was a drunk. So, they were struggling, trying to make ends meet. My dad pulled himself up out the projects, went to, college, got with some good folks, ended up going to Harvard after that, you feel me, for grad school, got the MBA, came out, and all his homies that was in Harvard, they didn't understand why he would want to go to Compton after Harvard. Like, bro, you can go work for Microsoft, you know what I'm saying, and be living it up. You know what I mean? Like, my dad could have been doing anything after that. At that time, this is 1982 or something.
Yeah,
like, I think he's class of 84, Harvard. He could have been doing anything, but his thing was, I'm gonna take everything I learned, everything I did, I'm going to the hood with my shit, because the hood needed. And I know he grew up without his father being, his father was a drunk war vet, all effed up after war, so he never really had him in his life at all. He was in World War II.
World War II.
And all that other shit, Korea War, all that shit. And so he didn't have his father. His father was physically present, but just
couldn't cope with what he went through.
My dad said he never had a real conversation with his father ever,
because he was just too damaged from what happened to him.
Gone. You feel me? And he was around, and my grandmother ended up leaving him, and then he died just
alone.
Yeah, man. Like a lot of vets, they went through that. So anyway, he never had that, so he knew the hurt that comes with being a young black man in this society and not having your father to look to guide you. And he understood that all too well. He was like, "There's no way." He dedicated his life to go in the opposite direction and being that father. So my dad is like the pops to all my homies, and I'm the only one with my dad. Like all the other homies,
because that's the statistic, right?
It's the cycle, bro.
Yeah.
Your dad end up dead or in jail. You grow up by yourself. You don't learn shit. You misguided. You end up going the same route, doing the wrong
cycle.
things, repeating, and you grow. It's the same thing. So all of my homies, they look around and be like, "Yo, where your pops at?" I don't know. Where your pops at? Dead. Where your pops at? Shit on drugs. Where your pops at? Shit, whatever, right? And my dad is the one, you know what I'm saying? But he knew that would be the case. He was like, I'm going to move to the hood, raise my sons in the hood, be their father, and then their friends, and who all the other young black men and women, young black girls and boys that's going, don't have no father, I'm going to be that to them too. And I'm going to show them the right way. So my dad is the leading, shining example. And you'll hear it in my music and anything. I always talk about my dad, you feel me? And because he's the light, you know what I mean? So he's showing us the way. He was instrumental in helping my aunt build the ranch and do all the whole Compton Cowboys thing. And the Compton Junior Posse thing. And so now he's like, all his homies that, you know, went out of Harvard, they came out of Harvard, and they all went to get all those big nice jobs and lived in the big nice neighborhoods and all that. And they was talking shit to him at that time, like, bro, why you gonna move to the hood, bro? Like, that's dumb. Like, yo, kids could get killed. You gonna be dealing with hood shit. Like, why you gonna do that? You don't have to do that. He was like, you gonna see. I'm gonna show you. So fast forward 30 years, you know, his kids is doing shit out in the world. We on CNN and this and that, and all those same friends calling him like, man, Big Lou, I understand, man. Like,
all that time later,
because you gotta imagine all they kids, they all grew up of having affluence and, you know, and means. So they all got their own families, their own jobs. They living everywhere all over around the country and stuff. And they all like, man, dog, the friends of my dad's friends I'm talking about, they're all like, man, I hardly see my kids. They got their own family. That, you know what I'm saying, they doing their own thing. They don't even need me for nothing because they got good jobs, and you know what I'm saying. And then it's like the stuff they doing jobs. Some of them are doing some really cool stuff in the community, but what we doing is special and different. So these same guys is calling my dad or hitting them on Facebook, and you know how the old people, they on Facebook.
Yep.
Man, I just seen your boys on CNN. I just seen, oh man, your boys got a book that just came out. I seen it in Barnes and Noble. And he's like, see what I mean? Compton Cowboys. You feel me? They making a difference in the world. And that was his dream, to change the hood and put us on a path to do something great and have a global influence on the black community and the world in general. And we doing that. So he's like vindicated. Like, and he living good. And he happy. You know what I'm saying? We still hustling every day. We still trying to, you know what I'm saying? We ain't by no means well off. We just blessed and fortunate, and we work hard and we believe, and then that's just why everything just getting taken care of. It's divine for us. You feel me?
Absolutely. But tell me about the book, though. I mean, because it was like, it's a critically acclaimed book. I mean, it really hits home because you got the photo on the cover. And so tell me about the book, how that whole process came to be.
We did. Shout out to Walter Thompson Hernandez, who's the author of the book. He was a young journalist from this local area that had just happened to had got hired at the New York Times right when we were starting to heat up. And so he's like the only like young black, you know, journalist, writer in the room. Like, imagine the big conference room at the Times, and they all talking about the new stories or whatever. And he's the only one that looked like me
right
in there. So he like, man, they giving me a platform, you know. But this time, you know, this is when like the culture's starting to come alive. People starting to embrace diversity, influence, inclusion, all that. So he reached out on Instagram, DM'd us like, man, I'm a journalist working for the New York Times. I'm the only one in there that look like us. I want to do a story that represents us, and I want it to be big, and I want it to, and they gonna give me a platform. Let me do it. I was like, yeah, bro, come by, let's meet. We met. He was like, all right, we're gonna do it. He took it in. They loved it. They loved the idea, the concept, everything. So we did it. We ended up, you know, doing the whole story. So our lead-in was off the front page. Just the New York Times, bro. Like, to get a front page even feature is wild. Like, and then so our lead-in was off the front page, and then they gave us a whole page in color spread about our movement and story. That was the first big thing that put us like gave us a national presence. So after that, all the book companies, all the book publishers started reaching out. We talked to a few different ones, got a deal done, and then, you know, just did it. And Walter spent some years with us, just following us, you know, hearing our hopes, our dreams, our fears, our story, and talked to us all each individually about that and different vibes, and then just put it all in the book, what he saw. You know what I'm saying? What he recounted. And the book just takes you through there. It takes you through each of our, you know, and everybody's kind of profile different. It's interesting. I would encourage everybody to go read it. And shout out to HarperCollins and William Morrow Books and our agent at our book agency, Janklo Nesbitt, for just doing such a great job putting it together and being so open to the story and just allowing our creative direction and all that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just come in and be like, yo, we're going to do it. We're going to do it like this. They was like, yo, here's the means to do the book. Do the book. You know, like, he shot the pictures in the book. He did the photo, you know, the cover art, the story he wrote. They just did some editing, but he wrote, you know what I mean? So, and it came out great, man. And I was moved to tears by some of the stuff, you know, because you live in your life every day. You're not really aware of all this other stuff going on with your closest friends. Or it's interesting also to see how other people see your life and how they might see things, and you're not even aware of, like, oh, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm over here. Oh, you know, reading your own story is interesting, like how somebody else perceives it. You feel me?
Yeah, it's probably a weird reflection, right? Probably
It
humbles
is.
you up a little bit.
It is. It's weird, but it's also like, oh, okay, that's what people see, or that's what they. And it's interesting to see, cause I just be in the trenches, bro. I just be working. I be on the grind. I'll be just doing my thing, bro. And then for somebody to come to like look and watch all that and tie it together and create a narrative and a thread of like who you are and what you're doing and in the context of everything, like it blows you away. Me reading my own, like somebody recounting me and my story and what my hopes and dreams and fears are from their eyes, it moved me to tears. And I'm sure it did that for all of us. So that's what the book is. It kind of just like has a profile of all the different members and what their, vibe is, story, what their hopes, dreams, fears, what they want to do in the future, what their, trials and tribulations, and just the whole Compton Cowboys energy and movement and where it's going and the hopes of it all. So definitely go get the book if you get a chance. That's you could just Google Compton Cowboys book. It'll pop up anywhere.
Yeah, it's probably on Amazon and the whole deal.
It's on
right?
every distributor for sure.
You like books? You like to read?
I do. I do
got
like
a
the
book
books.
for you.
Yeah, I do like to read.
Have you ever read Fred Whitfield's book? You know about that?
I don't. What's it called?
8 Gold Buckles Don't Lie.
8 Gold Buckles Don't Lie.
Yep.
I would love to read it.
You should read it. Trust me. It probably mean a lot to you if you do.
Yeah,
I've been trying a lot to me, and it's not me, but
I love the title. I've been trying to get back into, because I went through. It's so funny when I was going through college and after college, I was like, bro, I'm never reading anything ever again because I read so much shit. Like,
all just traumatic.
Bro, I was a sociology major, bro. Like, I had to read and write so much shit all the time. And I was like, man, when I was done with grad school, I was like, I'm running far the opposite way from books. Like, but as you grow up and mature and shit, you like, it's important to read. You know what I'm saying? You want to slow down a little bit, get perspective. Right now, I'm reading Obama's book, A Promised Land. It's his first like piece that he put out post presidency. Mm-hmm. So that's just mind blowing. Just opening like all the things he had to go through, like giving me a lot of perspective. I'm reading that. And that's the main one that I'm kind of in right now. And then I'm reading other stuff like financial literacy stuff. And I don't really read anything fiction. I like to read stuff that's like real shit because I like to like be able to connect with it.
Yeah.
I don't read for leisure. I read for like to pick up for education and read and to gain something from it.
It makes you a lot more intelligent. Like I can't read the page, but I can listen to it. So I do Audible.
Oh, word.
Nonstop.
Yeah. And I'm the opposite. I can't even do that. I can't even
do the
listen.
audiobooks.
I gotta read it because I can put it down and then I can go back over it again and go back. And then I also like when words I don't understand, I like to stop right there and look the word up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or like read it in context and see how it's flowing in the sentence and shit. Tactics I picked up in school and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I'm down there. I'm always down to read.
I mean, so you're a total anomaly in your community then.
Yeah, man. Well, actually, it's just been a real misperception about Compton and the people that come from there. Like the media, they created a narrative of what it is. Like
the media and
music and all this other
TV.
shit. Yeah, it's like Compton is full of thugs, gangbangers, crime. Boo.
It's bigger than that.
It's way bigger, bro. I always tell people like Compton is a beautiful ass place with beautiful people, all about community, families, and a lot of intelligent, smart, a lot of first time things have come from Compton, like a lot of incredible talents, a lot of incredible like politicians and
it's kind of
authors,
a melting pot.
and it's just that's never was highlighted. We get they took the NWA movement and spun it into like some like anti-authority, anti-establishment movement, anarchist thing.
And never let it go.
It never was that. It was all about fighting for the people in the community and standing up for what's right and our rights and all that. But they gonna spin it. And then once that happened, that was basically Compton's story on the world stage. It was like, fuck the police. They took the tagline and turned it into a thing. Yeah. And NWA was always misunderstood from that perspective. And then the world just basically got tainted on our story. So even when we say we're from Compton, motherfuckers be like, oh, how'd you grow up and, how'd you not get shot? Or if I come visit you guys, am I going to get robbed? Or can I, and I'm like, man, like, it's just a fucked up narrative, but Compton ain't no like big city metroplex where like it's petty crime and all this bullshit. Like you're not just gonna get mugged. Right. Like, or your motherfucker ain't just gonna run up on you and steal your car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like a lot of the bullshit that happens is political or it's related to something specific like street politics and gang shit.
It heats up over time.
You know what I'm saying? It usually like if you into some shit, if something happened to you or you get involved in some shit, it's usually like there's a reasoning, there's a whole thing about that. So if somebody shot at you, it's because you're part of a rival gang who has something to do with some other thing that got done, or you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't just gonna be no random person and get like just gonna walk up and pop you and take your purse. Like,
hey,
you
dude,
know what I'm saying?
I'm coming to your place. I ain't worried about it.
You definitely got to
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, you know, I don't want
it.
people to be thinking all that negative shit about Compton. Compton is beautiful, but we doing that. We switching the narrative around. We changing it up. It's a lot of beautiful things going on in Compton. A lot of great social community organizations. A lot of the young kids are inspired. A lot of art going on. A lot of athletics, obviously. A lot of, you know, now we got the Cowboys and the horse thing popping off, getting Richland Farms on the map. Richland Farms is getting on the map. And that's important because that's really Compton's story. Like, Compton was founded as a farm town.
I mean, most of California, that's what people don't realize.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of just most cities in general, motherfuckers was farmers before there was, you know, anything, right? You had to just, like, you know, self-sustain your own living and shit. So, but yeah, the founder was a farmer. He established the Richland Farms as his own little community where he could grow and do agriculture and turn it into commerce and all that. And then he predicted that, you know, in modern civilization there will be like industrialization and all that, and, you know, gentrification and stuff. So he just set aside the Richland Farms and designated it as.
How big is Richland Farms?
Man, like square miles. It's probably not even. It's like a block by a block. It's probably not even a. Bro, I don't even know, bro. Small. I can't even lie. It's tiny. That's probably not even 5 square miles, bro. Yeah. Some shit like. It's small. It's just like it's only like two little, like, I would say probably like 6 or 8 little blocks. Yeah. Little. Like if I'm standing on the eastern border of the neighborhood, I could see the western border. Like I'm standing at the stoplight, I could see the stoplight over there. That's the end of the town. Yeah. And north, south, east to west, same thing. It's small, a tiny little neighborhood. Tiny. You could run around the whole town in like 15 minutes. Yeah. Like easy. It's small, but it's special, you know. And so he designated that little town as an agricultural zone, and he made it to where it's like into perpetuity. So no matter how many people try to fight, change the zoning, we steal the farms. Yep.
Because I'm sure people have come in and tried to annex it and rip it apart, develop it, do the thing that they do.
No, you know developers. Yep. And developers don't give a fuck about a horse.
No, they'll run over a horse.
They will bring those tractors and slaughter horses on the field if they could. They don't give a. They'll run them over and turn them into, you know, soil. Yep. But nah, man, they come fight. I go down there personally. How I look just like right now. I'll be sitting in the city council hearing. Yep. Waiting for my turn to talk. I talk in front of the city council. Hi, my name is Randall Hook on behalf of the Richland Farms District 3. You know what I'm saying? I want to be here to let you know the importance of keeping the horses in the neighborhood. It's good for the kids, good for the city. You feel me?
You get a lot of fight from them?
Not from the city. The city love it. It'd be the other people. Yeah. It'd be like the other residents who don't like the smell of the horse shit.
I want a Starbucks.
It's some people in our hood that don't like the horses because it like, you know, we all have dirt and the dirt gets in their pool. Yep. When we ride and, you know, teaching our lessons, the dust gets in the air and lands in their pool and they're like pissed off. I'm like, yo, you could just put a pool cover over your shit. Yeah. Or, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, okay, we'll work on, like, we just put a solution down on our footing to help with the dust and things. So we're not you know, assholes about it. We understand we still in the residential environment, you feel me? But it's like, you know what I'm saying, these people all underestimate and underappreciate the value of the horses, you know, and just the animals in general. I don't understand why humans do that shit. I be tripping, like, we really try to act like we transcend the natural code of the ecosystem. Like, we're beyond, we don't need animals. We don't need it. Like, we're trying to harness the power of nature, physics, and science, and to be like animals, like.
Well, I mean, so that's human history, right? Like, it just is. And history repeats itself, right? We saw it with, like, Genghis Khan. Then we saw it with the Roman Empire. Now we're seeing this stuff now. Yeah. And we've got people, like, I'm all for Tesla, right? I actually do a little business with Tesla with my other company, but it's like you got a dude who would rather go to Mars. You want to go to Mars when with the tiniest amount of effort, you could literally get clean water to everybody in the entire world. Right. You got Bill Gates crying about his divorce that he caused out there trying to, like, vaccinate people or do something. Dude, 1/1,000,000th of what your fortune is, and you could put clean water in every place in the entire.
I be tripping
world.
on humanity, bro. We be tripping out, bro. It's like we got so many of our own problems. What y'all motherfuckers trying to go to the moon for, and the stars and all this other shit, and be all the science, space exploration. I get it, it's fun, whatever. But we got real life problems on this earth.
It just doesn't make sense, right? It's like we're looking at things through a different lens, right? We're talking about how horses heal kids and community and a sense of just that community, right? And you've got these people who could change everything in the whole world, not just even here. They could definitely change it here. And well, let's set up one more fulfillment center, right? Jeff Bezos not doing nothing to help nobody.
Global initiatives, it's global problems, and it's just the focus. But if I would rack my brain trying to figure out all how people are, and what I've been doing since I've been a grown up is peeling everything back and sitting back more and just focusing on my mission and my cause and what I'm doing and what I believe is right and important, and then just leading by example, and hopefully these people will get on board, because I'm not finna go be out there pressing the line like, hey, motherfucker, you should, Bill Gates, you got all this money, man, fix this, or do you can't read motherfucking humans, you can't tell them shit.
It's not gonna work. People already try that.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably why I won't do it.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, man, I'm gonna lead by. That always been my way too. I just lead by example, do what I do, and then I can just call it a day. You know what I'm saying? And then the kids gonna see, they could peep who doing what. You know what I'm saying? They kids are smart. They very aware and they very astute, and they know what's going on. They gonna see when somebody on some real positive shit, on some trying to do something, or if somebody on some goofball bullshit. They might not be able to articulate what they see and all that, but they know what's going on. So I just lead by example, and that's that.
Yeah.
So Richland Farms is 10 blocks.
Yeah, exactly. See, small as fuck.
Yeah.
10 little blocks. You can run through them. Oh, you can run to the homie house. But we ride our horse to the homie house. You just hop on your horse, go around the corner, you at the friend house, or go hop on your horse, go to the taco spot, go to the store.
How often are you guys riding horses down the street and stuff, and somebody stops you and say, "What are you doing? What are you boys doing?"
No, never.
That never happened, because everybody knows. No one rolls through there and is like, "Hey, what are you doing on that horse?" Like just curious.
Yeah, and our hood is like that. So everybody got horses. Everybody ride around.
Yeah.
And then when you get outside of our hood, they don't really ask what you're doing. They just be like, "Whoa, that's amazing," or something like that. They be like, "Oh, whoa," like they're like starstruck by the horse, and then they're like inspired, and then they want to touch and pet the horse. They never like are inquiring about what's going on. Like they just like, "Oh, whoa, this is really cool." Like it could be anybody from a kid to a gangster.
Right.
Police officer. Sometimes the police will roll up, and like we all traumatized, so we'll think like, "Oh shit, these motherfuckers about to fuck with us."
Yeah.
They'll roll up and be like, "Yo, that's a nice horse, man." You know what I'm saying? And we'll be like, "Oh shit, thank you." Because the sheriff's department got mounted units too. So that's also healing our community, because we can relate on that level. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the horses, I'm telling you, man, the horses do everything. They are the magic. They are the everything, man. I can't even describe them in one word. They heal, they solve, they fix, they love, they share. It's like they bring good energy, they inspire.
Yeah, we're connected to horses in a different kind of way, more than anything else. It seems like more than dogs, more than, it just feels that way. And some people don't know that. Like Ty's not been around horses much, so he doesn't really understand. He can't relate.
Right.
But if you grow up with them, right, and you're on them since you're a baby, a young child, just like I was. And you're going to die with them, because there's just no way to not have them in your life in some way.
Oh, God. My auntie still to this day, doc, she had a stroke and everything. Doctor told her, "You got to chill out." She's still calling me. She's like an elder lady. "Yo, I'm thinking about getting this other horse. Are you going to the trail ride?" And I'm like, "Auntie, you're not supposed to be doing shit. You're supposed to be sitting down. You ain't supposed to be getting on what are you doing getting on the horse?" But she's a cowgirl, man. Hey. You know what I'm saying? She going to get on him. She going to go out on the horse.
My great-grandfather died, I think it was like 98, and he rode horses till he died, feeding cows till he died, breaking his hips, scalping himself on the fence.
Man.
Never quit.
Never quit.
Never got off the horse.
Nope. And then she got them, she got 2 horses. She retired and went to Norco, which is like in California. Norco is like Horseville, USA.
Right.
So she got retired. When she retired, she went out there, got her a little ranch house, and just living the calm, good life. Got her a few horses out there, and actually, I had to go hijack some horses from her, because she was only out there with her and her partner, and her husband, and she had like 5 horses out there, and like Compton Cowboys started heating up, and I didn't have a horse at the time, but she had this Tennessee Walker over there that I loved. His name is Fury. That's my horse to this day. It's my dog. I just rode him on Friday out in Malibu. Shout out to One Gun Ranch, invited us out to Malibu, you know, rode in the hills and along the water. It's just amazing. But he's just a fiery horse, man. By now he's 23, and he acts like he's 7 years old. He got so much energy, so much spunk, and he's a Tennessee Walker, so he's so smooth, and he's got a great spirit. He's very responsive, and just a great horse. And that horse changed my life. But that horse was at her ranch, and I was like, I didn't have a horse, so I'm like, you know, Auntie, I need a horse. Let me get Fury. No, you know, she Monty talk her shit, you know what I'm saying? She didn't want to give him up off top. But even though he was just standing there, they wasn't riding him because they already had the other horses they ride.
Right.
So, but she, you know, she just wanted to have a stock, you know what I'm saying? So I went up there one day, and we had this little pony, a quarter pony named Sonny that she had got when we was younger. We all got him together, and then my little brother didn't want to ride him no more because he had a little tragic. He had not a tragic accident. He had a traumatic accident, and then he didn't grow up with horses, but he was trying it, and then he had, you know how it is with those people, have one accident, like I'm never gonna get on a horse.
Yeah, terrified of horses.
Yeah, forever. So he ended up being like a horse for the family or whatever. But you know, my auntie, she has grandkids and stuff, so she was like, well, I told her like, well, we're gonna bring up here. I'm gonna trade Sonny for Fury. I'm gonna bring him. But mind you, she don't need none of these horses out here. First of all, they're older, so they can't be feeding and working, cleaning these stalls for these horses. They don't need all that work. So I was really trying to get horses away from her. Yeah. I just wanted her to have her one horse, just so I would never take all her horses because that could probably be the reason that would kill her. You feel me? If she didn't have a reason to get up and go, you know what I mean? But I was like, I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna trade. All right, I'll trade you Sonny for Fury. Okay, that's cool. Brought Sonny out there. Got Fury, act like I was gonna leave Sonny, put them both in the trailer and went home. And she talked shit to me, but it's like that horse changed my life, and it changed all of our life. And now I'm able to live her, you know, continue the legacy just through telling the story. You know what I'm saying? Being Compton Cowboys and shit. And that's horse. She sees the horse on TV. You know what I'm saying, and all that. And so it's a vibe, man. We have definitely a little dysfunctional family vibe sometimes, but you know how it is. But we doing the right thing, so it's all good.
It is good, man. It is really good. All right, guys, that has been part 1 of the Compton Cowboy podcast. Tune in a few days for part 2. This has been The Gauge, hosted by me, Chance Conrado, produced and edited by our guy, Ty Yeager. Shout out to the executive producers, Dustin Pointer and Cody Denton. Marketing and content produced by Riley Chong. Make sure to rate and review this podcast, as well as follow The Gauge on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to The Gauge wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you guys next time.